Listen up and listen good. Governor Kathy Hochul, New York State, my home state, has called in the state troopers to clean up what is referred to as the Market of Sweethearts, and that would be Roosevelt Avenue over in Queens. Let's talk about this. Did you hear what I said? State troopers to clean up? This is a crime infested area, a strip. Roosevelt Avenue is a very, very, very long street that runs through several neighborhoods. And recently, it used to be a main shopping district. Lots of families would come to the different markets. And you know what? It has become an open market crime scene. Got to call it like it is, reality, with the current administration. And what I mean by that is we have open borders. Therefore, we have all of these people coming into our city. But here's what I want to point out, because we talk about this a lot on the Warriors. And what we talk about is that a lot of these women and girls that are coming to the United States are forced into prostitution. We don't even call them prostitutes. We call them prostituted people. Under the Biden-Harris administration, the largest growing criminal enterprise is sex trafficking. So what these cartels do, and what I like to say is it is the biggest human trafficking operation in the world. Our U.S. government complicit with the cartels in bringing people here, is when they get here, they are still held into this debt bondage. And what that means is that they have to continually pay. I was reading a story this morning, and I've been told this by different people as well, that these poor people, okay, forget they've come here, the borders are open. Let's leave that, for a second. They do think the majority of them are coming here to better their lives. You would probably come here. I would too. We would probably try to get our children here too if we were in one of these horrible, destitute countries. And somebody said, come on over, we'll take care of everything. So let's get that out of the way. But what's happening is these women and girls in particular, and there are some boys and men also, are then told, okay, to stay in this house, and this is the example I'm giving you, you need to pay $12,000. In order to live, you need to pay X amount of dollars for food. In order for you to have transportation, you need to pay X amount of dollars. All money is going back to the cartel. The bottom line for this is a lot of these women and girls are forced into prostitution. That is what they are put into to pay off these debts. And they are told, we'll throw you out of the country. We will harm you and your children. We know where your family members live back home. Remember, this is a very well-oiled machine coming over all of our borders. And that's a reminder. When I say borders, we pretty much talk about Arizona and Texas. San Diego is the biggest hotspot right now that I don't hear any chit-chat about. That is the number one spot right now. San Diego, they're just coming on in. And they're told buses are there. The train line is there. Go ahead. And it is not up to anybody. Border Patrol is doing the best they can do, but this is an invasion upon our country. But what I want to say is that these women can never get out of this debt bondage. And I don't understand opening borders, bringing people here, and then putting them into prostitution. And what I have to say about this is, again, a reminder, is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the United States. Boys are the fastest growing demo for sex trafficking. Now, I don't know about you, but I haven't heard anybody really talking about any of this. So while our children, remember, they see and hear everything, you may not think so, are watching this unfold. And these unaccompanied minors, we'll call them, and other women and other people are forced into sex trafficking. Who in the world would allow this? So now, facing the election in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks or so, we have Governor Kathy Hochul calling in state troopers who were seen on Roosevelt Avenue with NYPD, coming up with a plan to remove these people, to let businesses open up again for families. I've had reports for going on 3 years now of warriors we know in those neighborhoods. They would be out with their families, they would be going shopping, and they would be approached. That these people have no shame. Usually a guy, I was showed little cards, little tiny cards with a girl's picture on it and a phone number. This has been going on. But here's the problem with all of this. You can call in Governor Kathy Hochul, all of the state troopers you want, but what they are going to do, they may clean up, this Roosevelt Avenue, but they are going to move all of these people, these brothels, these prostituted women. I'm sure there's children involved. Just because we don't see them walking on the streets, they're there somewhere because the demand is for children. They're going to move. It's going to spread out. It's going to spread into other neighborhoods. We've been hearing for the last couple of years that it spread already. Flushing, Queens was always a hotbed of Asian prostituted people. But now it's being infiltrated by mostly Venezuelan women and girls that have come over here, are sex trafficked, and our government's allowing this because we're a sanctuary city? No. This has to end. So you know what you have to do. You have to be a warrior. You have to report something. If you see something, say something. And the thing is about our beautiful city, New York, it's coming to a town near you. Don't think it's just my city or Chicago, LA, Denver, San Francisco. It is spreading out because even if they clean up one area of prostitution, it's moving into the next areas and the next areas, and it's moving into the communities of families. I think it's the most frightening thing. So although it sounds good on paper, bringing in state troopers, why aren't we just shutting it down? Why aren't we closing the borders? Why aren't we finding out who is doing this sex trafficking, these cartels? Why is this not being approached directly? The open borders are responsible. It should be the number one issue in this upcoming election. I never tell you how to vote. Think of the policy. I want somebody to approach each candidate, get in their face, and say, what are you doing about the open borders, sex trafficking of our girls and women in particular? What are you doing about all of that? What are you doing about all of these women and girls brought into New York, brought into Queens, 24 hours a day walking up and down the streets, approaching men with families? They have no shame. They have no shame. So what are we going to do? Our hashtag at The Warriors is Community Creates Change. What you are going to do is be very aware of everything going on. If you see something, report something to 911. This model that has been going on in the United States cannot be sustained. When I tell you this sex trafficking, listen, we also have the cartels who are responsible basically for all of this, working hand in hand with MS-13 in New York. I'm talking about my home state right now, and in other states. We also have the cartels, again, working in all 50 states, according to law enforcement we work with, infiltrating our middle and high schools, and I think this is such a frightening thing. It's been going on to deal their illicit drugs, right? We know 70% plus of all illicit drugs are cut with fentanyl. Fentanyl equals poison. Fentanyl, one pill kills. Fentanyl equals, well, you know, it's a family show here, and some of the algorithms don't allow me to say death. But I think you know, read my lips. We've got that. We've also got American kids, I'm talking about right now, are trafficking their peers in middle and high schools. And you might say, what is that? Example, a girl might sleep in her own bed at night, say she's in 10th grade, and another boy in 10th grade. The cartels, this is my example, are paying him $500. Start bringing me girls, start bringing me. This boy in the 10th grade may act like he likes a girl. He might be very nice to her. He might take her out. They're exchanging text messages and pictures and things like that online. They may be gaming together online. They may be going to get a bite to eat. I don't even know if kids do that anymore, but they'll grab something and eat as they walk. Next thing you know, we call it the Romeo effect, that boyfriend effect. Or love bombing, showing a girl so much attention, and because we have so many vulnerable teens right now, in particular, kids, they're very receptive to this. And after a very short period of time, it becomes, this could also be called, the grooming process. It becomes, okay, can you do me a favor? And the girl is so smitten, has such low self-esteem. She will do this, whether it is going to visit somebody, again, definition of sex trafficking, force for coercion, just this one time, or I need money, or help me out. Or we're seeing tremendous violence in the scene, little love bombing, a little Romeo effect, and boom, drugs are being put into things, food, drink, girls are being transported in cars and trucks, disappearing, brought places, and then we also have that girl, let me get back on this, that and it happens to boys too, but primarily girls, that does sleep in her bed at night. Her parents have not an idea this is going on, but she thinks the boy loves her. So she's complying and doing this horrible stuff with strangers. Let us think about all of this. Again, a reminder. The number one escalating crime in the United States in 2024, a new study just came out, is the last 3.5, almost 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration. The open borders that have contributed to sex trafficking. Did you hear me? Sex trafficking. And again, with the demand for children, these children from the border are American children. This is a mess that must be shut down. So, Governor Kathy Hochul, bring on the troopers. But I ask you, where will these people go? Because they're just not closing up shop. They're not giving up, which means they're coming to your neighborhood. Please honor our hashtag, Community Creates Change. Please subscribe to this channel. We need to build numbers, algorithms. It's the name of the game. That's the world we live in. We want to get the information out to you. If you see something, don't be afraid. You won't be held responsible. Make a record 911. That is what you need to do. Always follow us, lynswarriors.org, our website, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Every day you need to stay on top of things. If I leave you with one thing, it is talk to your children. Be aware. Don't be scared. Don't be overwhelmed with this subject matter. Because I guarantee you, you will, because we see this over and over again, you will want to know about these subjects if your child or a family member is affected. So we don't want to just slap Band-Aids on things. We at the Warriors want to intervene, educate, really raise awareness, collaborate with you to make your family safe, your community safe. So please join us. And remember, each and every day, wake up and go out and be a warrior.